Welcome to a new edition of the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino. On this episode, we talk with Shame Guilt Educator, counselor, filmmaker, and author Lois Hollis. She shifts our opinion on one of the most forbidden subjects. She shares her 15 years experience as a shame guilt educator, counselor, filmmaker, and more to give us a short, effective way to health and wellness. At the age of 12, she entered healthcare as a nurse's aide. Her desire to understand and heal the body continues now at 76. She healed from childhood traumas and 30 years of migraine headaches. Today, she shepherds others out of crisis, seeking success or spiritual growth with their knowledge of how to identify, release, and avoid shame and guilt. We get into so much in this interview. Enjoy.
I am doing great. I just got off of a podcast, and I'm talking to you now, so I'm excited.
All right, you're hitting the ground running. Good. Well, Lois, it's great to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute out today. And before we get into your life as an educator, counselor, filmmaker, and author, you've got a lot going on. I want to know, in all of these varied capacities, how did you survive COVID, that 2-year period of lockdown, essentially? And how did it change the way that you not only live your life, but the way that you approach business now that things are opening up?
15 years ago, when I decided to bring shame guilt out of the closet, I was always asked to be a speaker. I'm a good speaker, but I could never talk about shame guilt. I could talk about a happiness coach, a joyful coach, a successful coach, but you don't mention the word shame guilt because we don't have it. And I went, okay. Then the pandemic hit, and I'm very, very sensitive, so I can't be around a lot of people at that time. So that's when I began the podcast. And people were opening up to the possibility of shame guilt in their life because they had to sit home all the time. And they had to deal with their emotions. And so the pandemic has been very good to me.
Sounds like it. Yeah, and I think I'm hearing that a lot from people, that there are definitely overwhelmingly silver linings that went into that time period.
And I'm not saying it's a good thing that happened. I'm just saying That's how I responded, and it was giving me the opportunity to open up to people that were now open to seeing another way that shame guilt impacted their life and messed them up, because before they were too busy running to work in the car and coming back and going here and going there, and that all stopped. The reason I was dying at 55, and part of it was the emotional impact of shame guilt from a very abusive childhood. And I had a lot of crippled bones and broken jaw and brain traumas, and we won't go into all that. But suffice it to say, I was toast. And the doctor told me I had 2 years to live, maybe. Well, at 79, I'm rollerblading with my grandson because I found out shame guilt is an energy, like a computer virus. It comes into us because of negative self-talk, and we just have to acknowledge it and say no and get rid of it. And then people start coming to me because I was healing and I got younger. I lost my gray hair, and they wanted to do what I was doing. So I taught them what I was doing, and they too got incredible results very quickly. So my profession found me, and I realized that shame guilt's in every person, in every country, and it's not shame and guilt. It's shame guilt. It's one word, and I'm offering a new perspective on this horrible, and it's not an emotion. It's an energy that makes our emotions be negative. That shame guilt is one word. And that helps people because they say, oh, I have guilt, or I have shame, but I don't have this. Shame makes more guilt. Guilt makes more shame. So having the truth into you, because we're all in a shame guilt, Neon, we're all in a shame guilt hypnosis, if we believe it or not. We do exactly what people tell us to do. We don't question anything. You know where I'm going on this. You know, you have to be a certain way, talk a certain way. You can't use these words. And the control now is getting freaky crazy. But it's all shame, guilt, hypnosis. And people say, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. We don't stand up for our personal self. And that's shame, guilt energy that the government, the families, the culture is throwing on us. Like the church says, guilt is the most wonderful moral emotion you can have because it makes you repent as a sinner. We're not sinners. We're human beings of a great experience. We are wonderful. We have so many gifts. We're a special breed of people, humanity. But we've been dumbed down. Shame, guilt makes us stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, if I know we don't have time to talk on this, but if you're interested, go on the YouTube or Google and write in Dr. David Hawkins, Hawkins. He now lives in heaven, but he did a mathematical number for each one of our emotions. And they start at 700,000, 700,000. And then it goes down to, love and joy and all that. Do you know the last energy that a human being can have and still be alive? It's shame, guilt. It comes in at 10. So we're operating in the lowest frequency and that any human can live. After that, it's death. That's why suicide is preceded by shame, guilt. You're not, people feel guilty ridden and they commit suicide. So from 700,000 to 10. And most people live into shame, guilt, hypnosis. Now that should wake you up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's fascinating. I've never heard this before, so I'm fascinated. Let me ask you, when you were young, what did you want to be when you grew up? Did you have a dream of becoming something other than what you are now?
Well, I remember I always wanted to help people, and I always wanted to be healthy. I just remember that's why I went into nursing. So I'm doing the same thing, but, a different spin on it because nobody else is doing it, Neon. So, I'm like one of these trailblazers. I created the first kidney hemodialysis unit in the United States in Thomas Jefferson in Philadelphia in 1966. So I've always been a trailblazer. I do what nobody else is doing.
Yeah, so as a trailblazer, who's been a hero or a role model consistently for you in your life?
People ask me all that time, and you know who my role model is? My intuition. I always get thoughts of what to do next, and so I follow them. I don't have a mentor. I don't have a mentor. The only mentor is me.
I like that. I like it. Let me ask you this. If you can meet anybody alive on the planet, or even somebody in the history of humanity, is there someone you would love to meet and talk to?
You're going to laugh, and you may not want to put on the hair, but Jesus. He's the only one I aspire to because he came here, I think he taught shame, guilt, how to be more. He said, everything I do, you can do better. And then he resurrected and left.
No,
Jesus is my only mentor because I want to do what he did.
Yeah, I don't understand why I wouldn't know. I think that's definitely that's what I'm trying to get to is the essence of you. I think that's a great answer. You've kind of talked about it a little bit, but what is it that motivates you through your day, and how do you quantify a successful day at the end of the day?
I am so excited today because I had 3 podcasts, and I was able to spread the truth about shame guilt and help people get out of the shame guilt hypnosis. That makes me so happy. It's not about the money. It's not about fame. I am so delighted to bring humanity to its highest peak. That's my job. And that's it.
Beautiful. So let me ask you this. If you have a dream tonight, you run into the younger version of yourself, say in your 20s, and you could give that version of you a piece of advice based on the wisdom you've gained in your life, what would you tell your young version?
Well, again, that's something I answer in a different way than most people because I do the interpersonal, inner child work and everything like that. And I just see myself as ever blooming. I'm 79 and I feel like, well, what I can do now, it isn't like I'm retired and dying. I am looking, the last podcast inspired me to do another film. And so I'm really excited about doing that. So I'm just evolving. That's all. And there's no limit how we can evolve. There's, retirement is stupid. Excuse me.
I agree. I agree with you 100%. I think what we do, the passion that we have for what we do and what we love keeps us alive. And
there's a lot of shame guilt out there. I gotta live a long time, Neon.
I get it. I 100% get it. So what has been one of the best responses from somebody that you've worked with or somebody that's experienced your work? One of the best fan letters or responses you've gotten?
Okay, I got like a zillion of them. But, 3 of them that stick out. And they said the same thing in a different way. They each said, every therapist I've been to for the last 10 years or 20 years or 15 years, whatever time that is, they all tell me to love myself. And I know loving myself is a good idea. Lois was the only one that taught me how, and I will be forever grateful. That I'm the only one that tells and helps people to actually love themselves, because when you love yourself, you don't do the shame guilt myth. There's another one like, no one's like Lois. I've tried the Buddha way. I tried the acceptance way, the forgiveness way, I have the whole list of things, and the Susan somebody and everybody's way. Lois is the only one that was able to help me because she taught me to talk within myself and release the shame guilt of my past.
Everyone out there has a perception of you, your family, your friends, your clients, but ultimately you're in control of your life. You live your life. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
That's another question. Most people just kind of I don't see everybody every day, especially with all this crazy.
Are you there?
And they go, how do you keep getting younger, Mom? We get older and you get younger. How do you do that? That's what people ask me all the time. How do you keep getting younger? We get older. Everybody gets older, but you, Mom, always stay the same or get younger. Everybody tells me that.
Yeah.
It's because the shame guilt energy destroys your body. It's a negative influence. And if you get rid of it, you don't age. It's very interesting, Neon. This is like a 2-day talk.
Yeah. No, I understand. If anyone out there wants to learn more about you and your message, where's the best place for them to go? How can they do that?
Well, that's mainly my website, loishollis.com. That's LOISHOLLIS.com. And my films are free. I have about 150 podcasts on there. I do charge for private sessions, but people can learn a lot from my website.
Wonderful. Lois, thank you for opening up. Thank you for your message and taking time out. Good luck with everything. Have a great 2023.
Okay. Have a good time.
Thanks for tuning in to another famous interview with Joe Dimino, where we cover the world of art, literature, business, spirituality, music, and more from around the globe. If you want to hear more interviews, visit the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino channel on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.